The moment someone decided to destroy you, they signed their own professional and spiritual eviction. Your stillness has become their greatest terror, because your enemies believe you are a supernatural curiosity in living form. Spells do not work on you. You didn't have to lift a finger. Your very existence neutralized their malice. There was a time when you moved through the world quietly, not invisibly. You were never invisible, but quietly. You were not trying to be seen. You were not performing for anyone. You were simply being exactly who you are, feeling everything deeply, seeing things in people that they had never shown you, knowing things without being told, and moving through rooms in a way that left something behind after you walked out. You were not doing any of it on purpose. That is the part that matters most. You were just being yourself, and that alone was already too much for certain people to handle. You gave without calculating the return. You showed up when people needed you without keeping a ledger of what you were owed. You loved in a way that was specific, genuine, and consistent. People recognized it, but not all of them recognized it with gratitude. Some recognized it with envy. Some recognized it with the particular cruelty that belongs to people who see something they cannot create and decide to destroy it instead. You did not see it coming. You were not built for suspicion. You were built for depth. And depth, when it is unguarded, becomes an open door for the wrong people. So they came in. One by one, over time, they positioned themselves close to you. They studied the architecture of your heart, what mattered to you, what moved you, what kept you awake at night. They stored all of it away, not out of love, out of strategy. The very qualities they planned to use against you were the same qualities that made you untouchable. Your depth made you difficult to read accurately. Your genuineness made their lies feel hollow in comparison. Your consistency quietly exposed their inconsistency to everyone paying attention. They thought they were mapping your weaknesses. What they were actually doing was documenting proof that they were operating somewhere they could not follow. You cannot decode a frequency you have never transmitted, and everything they believed they had learned about you only confirmed how outmatched they already were. What is coming for the person who refuses to stop is not going to arrive as a dramatic, visible, single event. It is going to be something quieter than that, and far more complete. It is going to be the accumulated consequence of a life organized around entirely the wrong mission. It is going to be the compounded cost of every relationship that was spent, every alliance that was burned, every person who was recruited into a campaign that kept failing, and in failing, kept exposing exactly what was at the center of it. The people surrounding your enemy are already making decisions, quiet decisions, the kind that do not get announced or explained. They are simply deciding, one by one, that the cost of staying close has exceeded anything they are receiving from it. That circle is contracting. Not because of anything you did, because a life built on blame and unresolved bitterness eventually exhausts every person willing to keep absorbing the cost of being nearby. Every person who was recruited to come against you and instead encountered your frequency is now a witness that cannot be effectively used against you anymore. Something happened to each of them in your proximity. Whether they can name it clearly or not, something shifted permanently. That shift made it impossible for them to sustain the full intensity of the mission they were given. They came back changed, and changed people make unreliable instruments for someone else's agenda. The arsenal assembled against you has been quietly depleting itself through contact with you. Not all at once, but steadily, piece by piece. Each failed attempt returns something diminished to the one who sent it. Each person who comes back, unable to explain what happened, removes themselves, consciously or without fully realizing it, from active participation in what is being organized against you. You have been free this entire time. While your enemy has been building what they believed was a trap for you, they have been constructing the only confinement actually being built. The walls have been closing around them the whole time, not placed by you, not orchestrated by anyone visible, but assembled naturally through the compounding consequence of choosing hatred as a life's purpose and organizing an identity entirely around someone else's downfall. The law governing all of this is patient, and it does not miss. Every person sent to damage you came back changed, or did not come back at all. Every plan lost something essential in the execution. Every attempt returned to its origin, carrying the same energy that was sent, plus the added weight of failure. The story that was constructed to cast you as the villain has developed so many internal contradictions that even the people who most wanted to believe it can no longer hold it together coherently, and you are still here. Not just surviving, not just enduring, you are thriving. You are building something real. You are carrying more genuine internal peace than you have held in a long time. You are walking into rooms with that presence, that unnameable, inexplicable, otherworldly quality that people cannot explain and cannot stop looking at. You are living evidence of something your enemies have been unable to accept and equally unable to disprove. The supernatural curiosity they decided you were. They were not entirely wrong, but they called it a curiosity because they were observing it entirely from the outside, from the position of someone who does not carry it, cannot access it, and therefore cannot comprehend it. From where you stand, inside it, it is not a curiosity at all. It is simply who you are. It is the tested, refined, fire-forged, immovable version of who you have always been in the process of becoming. You are someone who has been pressed past the point where most people break, and came out not just intact but genuinely transformed. You are someone who turned every attempt to extinguish your light into additional fuel for it. You are someone who chose again and again, in moments of real pain and real temptation, to respond from the highest available version of yourself, rather than react from the wound. That choice compounds over time. It accumulates into something that no external force can reach, because it was forged specifically by external force. The very thing that was used to try to break you became the material from which the unbreakable part of you was constructed. That is the great irony your enemies will never fully recover from having to confront.